Hello everyone and welcome to the Gosplank Gardens. Today I just wanted to make a little video on sunlight, which is just rising at the moment. Hopefully I've not got any smoothie on my lips. And what I needed to say about sunlight was how it's so disregarded in modern society. It's just, there we go. As when you say you go along with modern society in the role of a 9-to-5, in the role of an office job, something of the sort. Of course, you could argue, oh well, at my 30-minute dinner break, I go for a walk around in the park and absorb the sunlight. But you could argue that, but what I'm trying to say is it's got to be a lifestyle if you want to absorb the sunlight. Because what if it's your lunch break, the sun's gone in, it's it's gone a bit cloudy. All right, that's a bit of a rubbish point, but what I need to say about it is it's distress as well. It's like I said, it's a lifestyle. It's the way people's lives are started within the day. And take for instance, I'm pretty sure most of my relatives have 9-to-5s. They will wake up, eat whatever breakfast. I don't know what they eat. I know someone eats cornflakes and milk, but we'll get to foods in another video. But these relatives, or as I know, just people in general, wake up, eat their breakfast, get ready and get in the car, take the transport to work, and then shut themselves off in an office. First of all, just to say, obviously there's people who might go, oh well, I've got a 9-to-5 and I want to get out in the sun, or I want to get outside before I go to work and I want to work out. But even the people who work out, I've talked to them and they'll say, oh well, I go to the gym in a box, in a concrete box. Not saying they are just putting themselves into a concrete box, but that's literally what it is. It's a concrete box. So again, you're blocking yourselves off from the sunlight. A good example of if you do work a 9-to-5 is, you get up and you go for a walk or you go for a run, but you prolong this walk for at least a good half an hour or an hour, because the people I know who want to just take the dog out for a walk, for a shit or a piss, they'll walk around the block, quick whiz around the park, and then they're back in 10-15 minutes. Now that's good, that is good. I'm not trying to say that's bad. I'm just trying to say, if you want to get more sun, if you want to get, my point is with the sun is, if you look at plants, if you look at animals, if you look well, if you even take a look at solar panels, it's a source of energy for plants, animals. It's a source of energy for us, because when you sit and just be present with the sunlight, maybe even meditate, maybe even take your shoes and socks off and start grounding, but we're not going to talk about that today because we're not getting too deep. It is a sort of grounding to, well, creation really, because if you think about it, when you've got all your fruits and all your veg, that was a fluke, nearly dropped a razor. Take all your herbs as well. How will they grow? Yes, they've got the minerals they need from the soil and the water up through the roots, but for the plant to actually grow, for the plant to utilize these minerals and create all the phytochemicals, all the vitamins, all the nutrients, whatever, in the actual plant and fruits themselves, you need the sunlight. You know, just how, well, a body needs energy to grow, to go along its day as you control it. So what I need to say about sunlight is, in today's society, is that we need to understand that, all right, I don't want to pick sides here, but you can obviously observe that there is a obvious block to the sunlight, and we're not even going to get into chemtrails right now, but yeah. So I just wanted to go along on some science about sunlight, and yes, that does mean vitamin D, pretty sure it is. I will be doing a vitamins video because I've got all of these. I've done a write-up, proper a university thesis, or so they say. I don't know if it's just vitamin D that is for the sunlight, but yeah. So vitamin D is responsible for the absorption of calcium and phosphate. Now, calcium is one of the most, or is the most abundant chemical minerals in the body. Obviously it's used for your bones, your teeth and nails. I can't really pick out much else. I think it's used in the blood as well, and for intercellular activities. So it's a pretty important mineral. So if you don't have sufficient vitamin D from sunlight, you can also get it from different sources, as I've stated here. You can get it from sprouted seeds, alfalfa, mushrooms that have been given sunlight or UV light, and you can get it from sunflower seeds too. There's probably other types of foods, and I am going off from a plant-based perspective here because we'll get to that in a minute on a different episode. But yeah, so another use of vitamin D is it regulates and boosts resistance to infections. Yes, said here, essential for the formation of teeth and bones. Same with calcium. muscle contraction, heartbeat regulation, and neurotransmitter signaling. So it's pretty important if you look at it that way. I need some water. That's also important too, isn't it? So yeah, as you can, or as you have just heard, that vitamin D is quite a vital vitamin for the body, because it does work in unison with, well, one of the most important minerals in the human body, being calcium and phosphate. I don't know if phosphate is phosphorus, but phosphorus is another really important mineral for the body as well. So again, I'd just like to exaggerate on the point of how sunlight has been blocked from the human family through, you know, people working 9-to-5 jobs. And now if you want to say, oh well, I need to work this 9-to-5 job to pay for my food and pay for my family and pay for my house, etc., and pay for my TV bills and my internet connection, and so I can watch Coronation Street every night and distract myself from the truth. But anyways, not to get too swords in hand and slicing everyone's neck off, but my point on that is, well, what would I say to the people who say, oh well, you need a 9-to-5 to supply your needs? Now I will point you in the direction of what I was just talking about, of energy, sunlight. You know, where does the energy, because if you just think about it, you say that your 9-to-5 gives you money. So that you can eat food, so you can buy food, etc. Okay, so let's just theorize here. You obviously use energy to get up in the morning. You use energy to go to the fridge to get your cornflakes and milk. Alright, you don't get cornflakes out of the fridge, but you get what I mean. You use all that energy to digest your cornflakes. Oh my god. But yeah, you get the idea. You're using energy throughout your day to go to your job and work your job and come back home and die. I mean, come back home and watch your television at night. So you're using all this energy, but then you really need to think, where's this energy come from? Like, seriously, where's the energy come from? Let's give you a little hint. You get it yet? Yes, it's come from the sun. Because if the sun didn't exist, well, there wouldn't be any life. Plants wouldn't grow. Cows wouldn't be able to munch on grass. And I won't get into the extended part of that, but yeah. You won't be able to eat fruits. You won't be able to, well, eat anything. you just wouldn't exist. So that's the main point, is sunlight is one of the most important things that you need in your life. And sunlight in today's modern society has started to be pushed away from the human family for the reason, well, it's probably an obvious reason, but we'll not get into that today. Well, yeah, this is just a video to open some eyes, give some understanding, give some knowledge about the bright thing above our heads and how it can, well, simply give you energy, because, well, it's the thing that does give you energy. And if you sit in an office block, if you sit in a concrete building, or you drive around, and I mean, I'm not even dissing people driving around in the metal boxes or sitting in the concrete boxes, because they do give you shelter from excess sunlight, or, I mean, you could just use trees, but do give you shelter from cold and rain, etc. So what I mean to say about this is, well, I mean to just give a heads up to the people who, you know, you might not feel that good, because I do think that if you don't get enough sunlight, you start getting all clammy, you start getting all feeling a bit rotten. And that's an example of the body going, I don't like being here, I don't like being in this dark room, just using up energy for some little bits of paper. That is just energy in itself, literally is just energy, because that's what you put into it. Like I said before, and that's the point where I was trying to get to, you get up, you go eat your cornflakes, and then yeah, etc, etc, and then you've put your energy into this job, and then you're getting this wage, however good this wage is, for being locked up in a concrete box for 7 hours a day. Bit of a PRISON, but a concrete one at least. And you're getting energy back off it in the terms of a wage, in terms of paper notes or plastic notes now, or numbers on your bank account screen, which is a bit weird, but yeah. So this is just a video to open eyes. It's just a viewpoint. I have had some people, I wouldn't say arguing, but I would say debating what I'm trying to say. I mean, that's completely fine. I like people debating. I like people trying to think about things. But I mean, just to say about that is, if you are just going to, like, I'm not necessarily imposing my belief onto the public, I'm just raising an eyebrow, I'm just simply observing. Like I said in my previous video, I'm not picking a side, I'm just literally well, I'm observing, and I'm stating the obvious, really, because it's not my opinion that people are not getting enough sunlight and feeling all rubbish and, you know, getting unhealthy, because you're sat in a concrete box for 7 hours plus, you know, because then you come home and then you watch your telly and then you go to bed and then you go do it all over again. That's not a opinion. That's not my opinion that I'm forcing onto people. That's a fact, right? And yeah, so peace, love and unity. Let's all come together in community and use the sunlight as our energy source, not money.